Juicy Toy Show. How y'all doing? I said, how y'all doing? Excellent. Ready for a nerdy good time? Excellent. Well, let's get this all started. We have the nerds.
Are the rest of our fans in another room? They don't know we're here.
So first and foremost, we have joined us by Larry Scott, who played Lamar. Howdy. And next, we have Andrew Cassese, who played Wormser. We have Donald Gibb, who played Ogre.
Oh, sorry.
And last but certainly not least, we have Brian Tochi, who played Tochi.
Oh, no.
Alright.
Too strong again.
Okay.
Don't you say bad
That's
words.
his standard.
Oh, never.
Don't say bad words.
He's just a lush.
Just make sure we're in the right room. Let's wake up the whole convention center with nerds, 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 nerds.
There we go.
Wake these folks up, shall we?
Our fans will be in another room.
You're right.
Maybe they forgot where we went.
Oh, some people heard, all right. So I've got a couple of warm-up questions here, and then we'll get to the audience. One of the big questions on my mind is, this is an amazing franchise. You had 4 films, right? There were a lot of other films that were doing sort of the teen college comedy at the time, but they didn't have the same staying power.
Right.
So
Like Revenge of the Turds.
Yes.
Oh, you remember that one? Yeah, a lot of people don't have very much staying power, no. No, didn't have the same impact. That's right, yeah. But we did.
I think Sharman sponsored that one.
Okay, there we go. That's good to know.
Charmin. He's in charge.
Revenge of the Turds.
You're right. I'm working on a treatment for that right now. Yeah, there you go.
I am writing another movie though.
Oh, okay.
A road trip movie, and they're all in it.
Yeah.
It's a new movie that I wrote that we're going to probably start filming in November, December, somewhere around that, and we're all in it. It's a road trip movie, and the fans will be able to see us again. Know that we're not dead.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
So unofficially, Revenge of the Nerds 5, right?
There you go.
But from your experiences, why do you think this fandom, this franchise, has had such staying power since
Great actors. We're terrific actors. That's why.
Well, actually, you know what's so cool is that I think everybody, no matter who you are, whether you're a jock, whether you're not, at some point in time, you feel like you're the underdog. And nerds, I think, you know, it's the underdog story. Yeah. And I think that we've struck a chord to the audience because they can relate to us. And we won!
Yeah. I think even to this day,
Yes.
I think people still think of it as the bully thing, and I think that they like the fact.
You might want to use the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
We have the technology.
People tell me, shut up. Shut up. Turn it down. I had one sound guy, you know, they put their sound, you know, when you're talking to one guy, he said, okay, do it. I said, okay. So I jumped off the thing and he goes, oh my God. I said, you said do it. He goes, yeah, but I didn't look at that. The poor guy's ears were like bleeding. So usually I don't need a microphone at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, I mean, if you think about it, it's like bullying, man. I mean, I get that all the time. You know, bullying is so prevalent in our society now. And they see a movie where they win. And I think, and of course, yeah, the acting was, I mean, we've got guys that are super improv. So we turned that script from something that was, you know, garbage to something that was brilliant, you know, and it's all because of these guys. You know,
Yeah, I'm going to chime in there. And
Yeah, but
there's a couple reasons. Obviously, there isn't just one. If it was just one, you wouldn't have this kind of staying power.
Yeah.
But you know, it's everybody at some point either feels underappreciated, unseen,
Right.
an outcast, maybe not recognized for what they can really do versus what they look like. And we all at some point have been in that box. And I thought this franchise did a great job of addressing it from different angles so that different people could look at it and see themselves. I mean, you gotta remember now, guys, this is 1983. A lot of things that are okay now were not okay then. Just ask Lamar.
Just ask Lamar.
So there are things that you couldn't, that you can do now that's accepted that wasn't there. So, but everybody, I think, saw a portion of themselves in one way or the other. Even if it didn't physically look like them, it felt like them. And the other thing that you can't really put into play, and you can't really understand it, is the variables that all have to be in place at that time. Like at that time, that was the beginning of computers. Like no big deal right now, computers, don't even think about it. You right now, you don't even think about what you got your nerd glasses on, love it. You can't even think of not having a computer. Back then, computers, Apple just came out, and a nerd was a computer guy, and those were not looked upon nicely back then.
There was a lot of lockers, so you guys spent some time there, right?
And trash cans.
And the Asian fella, eat lots of food, but,
Hi. Oh. Did a lot of that.
Yeah. But I think, it's timing and everything else, and it's like the movie I did, it's just timing, it's hard timing. And, if you would have made that any other time, maybe it wouldn't have been so popular, but, it made careers out of people.
I think there was a lot of similar type of movies that were being made of that type, and they were generally toned to be just raunchy comedies that just had no real depth to them. And I think for whatever reason, Bobby Carradine and Tony Edwards and everybody from the top down, maybe they were too young to realize that it was supposed to be a stupid movie, and they took it seriously and they really tried to find the heart in it. And I think that was a big deal. Like that, it really comes across with a lot of heart. And in the end, there's a lot of jokes and a lot of raunchiness, but there's a lot of heart to it too.
Like the script that you gotta have heart. I mean,
all right, that's what I said. Turn his mic down.
You know what they do to them is, you guys think it's funny. They do it to me every place we go. They make fun of me, they make me leave because they're the dunce jerk.
And then he beats us up.
Yeah.
He'll stuff us in the locker later.
I'm a little too old to beat up for him at one time, but
we take turns. He says, "You first."
Yeah. You guys are so right. I mean, the heart thing is incredible, and the fact that we took a movie that I think, remember they told us Johnny Dangerous? That was their movie. Yeah. They told me. I mean.
Yeah, it came out at the same time.
They said, "Oh no, Johnny Dangerous. That's a movie we want to put the money into. That's the one that's going to make it." And then some idiot at Fox, didn't even want to release it, and he got fired. But people, they were just astounded at the audiences that we started bullying the kid.
Very unexpected, but
the guy at Fox, I don't know what, they're going, you didn't want to greenlight them?
Yeah, exactly. And a behind-the-scenes story, because that's what you guys are here for. You probably know the other stuff. But Nerds, 20th Century Fox did not like that movie at the time. They did not put it out in a wide release because they didn't think it was very good. In fact, when we were shooting, they didn't like the movie.
They were going to end us. They were going to shut us down.
Exactly. They made the mistake of leaving us alone.
Yeah.
Generally, they watch it and we do it. In fact, they thought it was a bad movie, and so they left us alone. So what that did for us is that gave us a creative playground to come up with stuff to show you how different the final product is from the beginning product. I think in the beginning movie, Wormser, you and I think we had, and you and Brett, I think we had 2 lines in the original script. 2 lines.
Yeah.
And look what it turned. I was not rapping in the original script. None of that was there. And that really goes kudos to Jeff Canoe for seeing us and allowing us to giving us the creative freedom to do that. And then a lot of credit goes to Bobby Carradine and Tony Edwards because they did something which turned out to be magical was they took it seriously.
I never thought about that.
You're absolutely right. These other movies that you're talking about, they all were spoofs on being that person. And guess what? Somebody really is that person. Somebody really is. And if you're that person, excuse my French, this stuff ain't funny.
But another thing too, I think, is that they hired actors. We were all actors. A lot of us are the antithesis of the characters that we played. But to his point, Larry's point, really interesting. The first day of shooting, first of all, studios they hate to spend money. But what they did is for the main cast, they brought us in 2 weeks prior to principal photography so that we could rehearse and that we could bond. Studios don't
They
do
don't
that.
do that
They don't do
nowadays.
that. But believe it or not, we rehearsed and we bonded. I mean, it's an amazing thing. A lot of times when you do an ensemble piece where there's a lot of different actors, there's going to be tension, there's egos, there's all sorts of stuff. On this show, we all fell into a groove and we all became friends and we worked together as a unit. And I'm just going to kind of, to Larry's point again, about being able to be creative. The first day of shooting that we did, we were in the auditorium where we're trying to be picked to be in the fraternities. And it was a basketball auditorium, and there's all these cots all around. And so we're waiting, there's just a camera. It takes hours to do a setup for when you do a film. It takes a long time. So what happened was, you know, somebody's shooting here, and then they're moving to another. So Curtis Armstrong, who plays Booger, and I, we happen to be sharing a cot, because I have this one line with Booger. And basically in this we're gonna shoot, why do they call you Booger? He goes, and he's picking in his nose. I don't know, right? That was it. So he and I were just waiting to be shot, and so we're playing chess. Hours going by, we're playing checkers. Then finally, I mean, it's taking a long time. So we start playing cards. We start screwing around, having fun. And just and so we're playing cards, and then so the director goes, "Oh, you guys are up next. Come up with something," and he walks away. So Curtis and I, we were laughing, so he and I worked out and mapped out this whole thing about the card game and everything else. None of that was in the script. So if you remember, everything you see in any of the script, not only the card scenes, but like when I'm painting and I have a Wonder Joy and I pass out, all that stuff, we all created that ourselves. We wrote it ourselves, and they shot it. And some of the stuff they kept in, and some of the stuff they did not. But a lot of the stuff they kept in because the director gave us the latitude to be able to add our own kind of creative, you know, stuff to it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because everything that I did, they did.
Yeah, because
Well, that's because you're brilliant, Don. I mean, you're an
I
anomaly.
mean, like Curtis. Curtis always tells us, what? Classically trained actor?
Yes.
So I'm a classically trained actor. I'm a classically trained actor. I make more money than you do. I haven't taken a class my entire life. How do you know what?
No, it's funny what Don says is
I know
that
nothing.
the guy who plays Booger, Curtis Armstrong, he literally was a classically trained theater actor. Shakespearean theater actor, right? And so he's training, and he knows, but tonight's John doing no break kind of thing, right? But yet, to this day, when he's walking down the sidewalk, he'll go invariably, somebody will go, "Hey, Booger!" That's classically trained for you. He'll never live that down.
Nice Romeo, by the way, Brian. Very excellent Romeo.
Yeah, and to that effect, once again talking about this, the cool thing about a film is when it works, it's magic. It just really is, and you forget that you're watching a film. It just takes you away. But there are so many things so many pieces that have to line up and come into play at the right time. And everybody always thinks they're making the best movie. In fact, when you're making a movie as an actor, you always hope you're making the movie so you don't have to make no more. You think you're making the best movie. That's why you take the role. And you don't know at the time that you are doing the best movie. Because you always think it's another script. Because this script, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I had 2 lines in the original script.
I didn't know that.
That was it, 2 lines. And going back to what you guys said, everything else Jeff Canoe, and I got to give him credit for this, he relied on us and he gave us the creative landscape to play and come up with stuff. And he said, "Hey, I'm depending on you guys." And
I never realized you're so like, it's funny that for some reason, this thing we're doing today.
I mean, the entire...
Jeff allowed us to do stuff that if he wouldn't have allowed us to do it, it would have been horrible.
No, if we would have stuck to the script, y'all wouldn't be
We
here.
wouldn't be here. We wouldn't all be here.
Let's keep it real.
Revenge of the Nerds would have went into porno.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Nobody would have ever
That would have been Revenge of the Turds.
Residential.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Charmin.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Jeff didn't let us do that.
No, it's true. But you know what's also a cool thing? Is that, again, you know, they let us bond. We met each other before principal photography. But what was so great is that this is 41 years later. Can you believe that? But we're all still really tight. I mean, we love each other. I mean, we're like a family.
We're the text chain.
Yeah, I mean, and all
Not
these
the
years,
daisy chain.
we just, yeah, right. I mean, and that's really something. So we bonded back then, and to this day, we can't wait to get together. I mean, we're sad that Robert Carradine and Julia Montgomery,
Sad face.
they couldn't get it, yeah. Because we love getting together and hanging out. Don hates us out. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to say it in front of everybody, but
Wow,
that's her
wow.
husband. But we,
Yeah, you're
Don't
right.
figure it out.
okay with me. He's like
Yeah,
7
yeah.
years old, and she loves me.
Congratulations, Don. Congratulations, folks.
And I'll tell you something else I want to share with you guys really quick. The audition process was different and interesting and unique. Like for Don, tell him your audition because Don, tell him, you have to understand, Don, were you an actor before you did Nerds?
I was something, man.
I know, I want you to tell them. Duh, lead in.
He just going, what? Yeah, I was stuntman. And the stunt coordinator, Terry James, he comes to me and goes, you know, they're looking for a guy to play Ogre and they can't find anybody. And I said, well, I'll read for it. So I read for it and I had a beard. And they said, you know, they really wanted me. And they said, you know, he looks too old. So my buddy, Terry, calls me and said, they want to see you again, but shave your beard. So here I am, you know, back in 1984, trying to shave. I had
And look like an 18-year-old.
blood everywhere with tissue, and I forgot a couple to take off, so I had this piece of tissue right here, and I remember Jeff saying, what tissue there from? And I said, well, I was gushing blood on the way here to my car, so okay. And but then I got the part. He fought over that casting director. I don't know who she was. She did not want me. And Jeff fought for me. He said, I want him.
Was it Susan
Because you
Arnold?
bled for her.
Susan Arnold?
You bled for it.
She fought me. She fought Jeff.
Well, Don's a really tough guy, so the way he used to shave back then, he used to get a rock and just scrape it and get it really sharp, and then...
That's what I told Jeff. I said, you know, like,
Yeah.
He'd be like, close enough.
Yeah, yeah. He was a tough guy, man.
I ran my head right through the window
Yeah.
trying to get the rest of it.
That's right. Yeah.
And what was your audition process, Brian?
Yeah, well, it's funny because somebody said, is there any Asian actor? There was a MASH, remember MASH? There was a spin-off where Corporal Klinger married the Asian woman. Her name is Rosalind Chow, who's been in a lot of movies and everything else. So she was on the lot, and the casting director asked her, do you know any Asian actors?
Is that right?
Yeah, and I had my first TV series was on the lot, 20th Century Fox. I still had my parking space there. It was Anna and the King, it was Yul Brynner, me and Yul Brynner.
Wow.
It was a takeoff of the King and I. And so she played my sister in the thing. She didn't have a big part, but she played my sister. And then she became this big star, and then she was Corporal Klinger's wife, and she had her own TV series. So she says, yeah, I know this guy Brian Tochi, you should see him. Yeah. So I come in and I go, hey, how you doing? No, that's not what they want. That's not what they want. Oh, hello. Okay. No, that's too evil. Oh, hello. Okay, you're hired. No, I didn't.
Yeah. And what was your deal, Andrew? How did you get the
It
role?
was just a regular audition. You get a little copy and you read it for the casting director, and then they called me back in to read with Jeff. So I met Jeff Canoe, the director, and we hit it off.
And how old were you?
I was 11.
Andrew, did
How old
you,
are you?
Andrew, did you
It happened,
Did
see?
LA cast?
What's that?
Did you cast
New
New
York.
York?
It was, yeah, cast New York.
So they flew there.
You know, but weren't you on Broadway?
I had been on Broadway. Yeah, I don't think I was currently there, but I just wrapped up doing 9.
Really?
So I guess that was my.
Very cool.
I mean, you're a star. I mean, you're
I was a star.
Already a star.
He's a star.
And,
Yes.
and when I read the script, once again, it's 1983, and they wanted me to play gay. And I was like, as an actor, you want to stretch. And I really wanted to do something different because before then, all the roles I was in was basically like this.
I'll kick your ass.
I'm gonna cut you, man! I was like, I want to do something different. So I went in and they told me that he was gay. So I said, okay. And I've been taking dance class. I had a lot of examples. So I went in and I came in dressed as Lamar. I came in with my shirt tied, And yes, I gave my shirt tied, and I came in character, and the casting agent couldn't stop laughing. My agent, when I got home, my agent said, "They love you. What did you do? What did you say?" I said, "I'ma cut you, man."
You have that rehearsed. You have that rehearsed.
I never heard it.
Yeah, I like that.
I know, but
You know, it's true though. Like, you know, you want to do something different, and you know, it's like the new movie. It's just a little different. Because I get one question more than anything: is he gay? And I go, no. Straighter than me.
No, but what I got lucky is that, and this was the thing, and this is going back to Bobby. You were talking about, Brian, about we had the 2 weeks rehearsal, which is unheard of. When I first got to Tucson, Arizona, they didn't even have foreign cars there. Forget gay people. They didn't have foreign cars there. I remember seeing Bobby, and Tim and I were the ones who bonded at the time. Andrew was like 10, so he was at school all the time. We got to see him occasionally. But Bobby, when we first saw Bobby and Anthony, we call him Tony Edwards, they were dressed like they were in the movie. When I first saw them, they were outside playing like Bob Lamb plays. I was like, these other people are
They're nerds. They're really nerds.
nerds.
Yeah.
What happened was I got it. I was like, oh, they're playing this for real. And I got it because when you're a nerd, you don't know you're a nerd. Everybody else knows you're a nerd. So that was a wonderful quality that they brought into, and the stars basically set the tone for the film. And I thought they did a wonderful job doing that. We just kind of fell in line and said, okay, we're playing this real. Gotcha. So Lamar didn't apologize for being gay. And I get a lot of folks who walk up to me and say, thank you, because you're the first person who didn't apologize for being yourself. And you don't realize at the time when you're doing it, you're just trying to get it done. But they, as you guys said, you know, Jeff's eye as a director was to find people who could bring his vision to life, and you know, I think he did a good job.
You did a great job, you know. Yeah. And I would get people that, you know, telling me like, you did a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
You know, and I get that all the time. They go, you know, we watched Ogre become a nerd. It was okay, and I'm like, well, thanks.
Yeah, in the second one, Ogre became a nerd. Yeah.
He was always a nerd.
One of us, right? What do you say? So, I want to pivot to the audience for a second to give
Please ask questions. That's why you came in. That's why you rolled.
Absolutely.
Ask questions, man.
You look like you're starting to.
Here we go.
So you said that Andrew was 11
11.
in the first casting, and you said that it could maybe happen. So do you think there's any chance that I could be in the 5th Revenge of the Nerds?
You know what? Close mouth, don't get fed. I like you already. You gotta ask.
By the way,
If I was you, I would write a letter to 20th Century Fox with a picture of you.
He directed the movie. He can
Talk to him.
He's the guy you want to talk to.
What's your name? Hold on.
William?
William, you
You
know
want to
what?
say William? There's a lot of Williams in America. You might want to get a little more specific. William what?
William Tharp.
Tharp.
Okay, now ask
You're very articulate, William.
Don, what you just asked me.
You know what? You would be hired for Revenge of the Nerds.
Ask Mr. Don.
Yeah.
Ask him.
He's doing a movie with the Revenge of the Nerds cast. And it's his movie. He wrote it. He's producing it. He's putting it all together. This is the guy to talk to.
So he wants to ask Mr. Don a question. What's your question for Don?
Do you think there's a chance that I could be in the 5th Revenge of the
Amen,
Nerds?
brother. Yeah, I just need all your information, and then you know, there's so many roles in there that I can put you in for a day or whatever. You know, just figure out what's going on in the movie business, and you're working with somebody that's so nice that you don't have to worry about getting yelled at. And you know, I mean,
He looks kind of harsh. Yes, I like it.
have you ever done anything?
No.
No.
Look how
I know.
articulate he is.
I know. He has a son. Is this?
Son
Son might be a little
of
older.
We'll find a spot for you. We'll find a spot.
But there's a little star.
I have to say, it took a lot of guts to ask that, and that's pretty good, Mr. Thorpe. That's pretty good.
Very articulate. You dig it?
Hey, give a round of applause.
This is why I love fan spaces.
Is that your brother right there? Is your brother? You're better than him.
Just real quick.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry.
You gonna get beat up tonight for that one.
I'm 7 years old. If you kick my ass, he's gonna be all over it.
He's got the nerd's glasses though. Yeah, that's perfect. I love that.
To my table, I was like,
Yeah.
I
I've
love
always
it,
wondered,
yeah.
Larry, did you ever try and actually throw the javelin, and how far did that thing go?
You know an interesting story? That night, or that day, there was a thing going around and I had a fever. I could barely move that day. And it was hot in Tucson too. And I was like, guys, I can't breathe. They said, we need you to. We said, you know what, I'm gonna do it one time. And we did it one time and look what it turned into. And you just never know. Those are the things behind the scene that you don't see. And how it went that far, that's movie magic, y'all.
we did more real stuff than they do now, though.
Yeah. He's getting his exercise.
Get my exercise.
What was your favorite part of filming the movie, or what scene was your guys' favorite?
Okay, I guess that's 4 different answers, I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what was your favorite, Don?
You know, everything was so much fun. It's like, people always ask me, well, this word nerd, and I was like, you know, they're so different. And there was so many scenes where they let me do it. Well, you know what? What a CT really swell dog. I think that's my favorite scene in the whole bad movie.
That cracks us up. Just, you know, sometimes it actually is funny to y'all. You have to hold it so you can't laugh. Because did you come up with that?
Well, Terry, James, and Terry started saying things like, maybe something flip-flop or something. And I thought, you know, to me, always going like, you know, CAT, because he can spell it. So I was thinking, CAT, dog. I'm like, what if CAT really spelled dog? And they're all like, and then I remember the director, what was it, Rob? Everybody, you know you're funny when this crew that's been with you for 3 months, they laugh. So these 4 guys had no idea what I'm doing. They start running the other way, laughing.
Because you can't make noise while you're filming.
Right, because it's got to be silent, you know? So I hear him running, and the director goes, God damn it, what the hell? You know? And then they did it again, but you know, when you know you got the crew out, you running and shit, these guys were laughing, and I was like, okay, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. You know? That was one of my favorite. Yeah.
How you did it. It was just how you did it.
I know, I'm crazy, that's why.
And you, Brian?
Yeah, right.
I didn't do the second one, and I was so upset that I didn't do the second movie because I love these guys, and they're so much fun to be around. And I had agreed to do. I did the Police Academy movies at the time, so I could. That's stupid move, right? But I will tell you, the most fun I had is it was during the Greek games where we're all, you know, competing against all the other fraternities and sororities.
And why did you have fun, Brian?
Well, there was a scene where Takashi is outdoors, and his contest was basically, there's this big old track, and there's a tricycle. It's a tricycle race. It goes around the track, but every time you go around the track, you have to chug a beer. So, the nerds are so smart that they came up with this thing called trichloromethylene, which counters all effective alcohol on your system, so you don't get drunk. Does not exist. You are correct. but it sounds good, right? Trichloromethylene. Anyway, so the main actors, we show up on set, meet the prop guy. The prop guy says, "Okay, you have a choice. We can have a soda that we dress to look like a beer, or you can have cold beers if you want." So are you kidding me? What are you kidding? Cold beers, of course. It's a hot day in the middle of Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. And so the thing is that I kind of forgot that when you film, you have take, another angle. Take, another angle. And I'm sucking down the beers. So all right, there's this thing where there's Anthony Edwards here, Tim Busfield, and Robert Carradine. The director goes, okay, camera's going to be mounted right here. We're going to keep it rolling. You're on the tricycle. We're going to have a guy behind you, and what are you going to do? We're going to keep the camera rolling. He's going to push you in. You're going to chug a beer, and you're going to come up with a line. We're going to pull you back, and just keep doing it until we have something. Okay, this is the so they're pushing me in. They're here. Oh man, I'm about to catch up to those guys now. They pull me back. Okay, pull me back in. have another beer. Oh God, I feel them catch up. I'm feeling good about this. They pull me back. They pull me back again. I go, oh man, I think I'm there now. Anyway, I do it about 15 times as I'm having a real beer. So finally, they push me in, and they go, how you feeling, Takashi? And I go, oh, fucking great! So they kept that in. That wasn't in the script. So, that day I probably had about 31 beers the whole thing. I kept racing to the bathroom. Anyway, that was the fun. That was fun.
I told her, the extras down the bottom. I said, I can't, I gotta have to spit this beer because I'm getting drunk. And, now they don't do that. Now they give you ginger ale or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember looking at the other, I go, I'm gonna start spitting this beer. And they're looking at me, they go, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm spitting it all over you, man. What are you guys, crazy?
No, right, your name is Ogre.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go. And I like to drink beer. Yep, still do.
He had ogre beer. Didn't you have ogre beer?
Yep, we had ogre beer for a while. Miller bought it. Jumped it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about you?
Was my favorite part of shooting. I mean, the whole thing was amazing. I was just on, privileged to be there. But there was a Greek games that I did that didn't make the cut. This chariot race where the moose pull me and this whole thing, and that was a fun setup. I had a lot of fun shooting that. But I guess what I really liked was there was a night scene though where we do the panty raid. And
that's right.
We got to climb ropes and run around on the roof of this building. And I was, for an 11-year-old kid, that was a lot of fun. So that was fun for me.
You got to see boobs at your age, son. I didn't see boobs when I was 11.
Kind of about them, but
I don't really see boobs when I'm 11.
Kind of there all the
I mean,
time.
I saw my mom. They're not
Not
really
the same.
boobs, are they?
Not the
Your
same.
mom?
Not the same.
The technical term is titty boobs.
What about you? What was your favorite part of the thing to shoot?
My thing that I guess you know what it was? I guess it was the rap because we got to work on that, and he could dance, and that was back then. I was like, what?
I don't know. Can we see a little bit of it? I don't know. Maybe kind of fun just to relive that. You want to see the rap? You want to rap?
You gotta clap your hands, everybody, and everybody clap your hands. Oh, let me see ya. Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody clap your hands. What? We're Lamb, the and
Omega Blues.
And we come here on stage tonight to do a show for you. We got a rock and rhythm and a high-tech sound that'll make you move your body down to the ground. We got Poindexter on the violin, and Lewis and Gibb will be joining in. We got Bob Caprice on the main guitar, and a rap by Lamar. We got Takashi on the gun. The boys in the booth be joining along. And just when you thought you seen it all, along comes a friend little 4 foot tall. So why don't you come on out here on the floor so you can do your body like it was before. I was thinking of Atlanta after that.
Well, I'd say drop the mic, but at that point we'd probably have to pay for it. So thank you for that. We have another question here?
Yeah, so as a classic millennial, my dad showed me a lot of R-rated movies when I was young, and I've tried not to do that with my boys, but this is for everybody, but I'll start with Don, because Bloodsport was one of those where I was like, well, we're dads, it's cool. But I wonder for you guys, what were those movies? Did you have those experiences growing up where a parent or babysitter or sibling was like, hey, you should watch this, and you were like, holy crap, I don't think I should have seen that. What was that for you guys?
Behind the Green Door, Marilyn Chambers.
Whoa! But back then, you had to go to theaters that stuck on the ground when your feet didn't. And then you're watching like 4 people in the theater and they're doing weird stuff shaking around.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this ain't good. But you're still watching the movie, you're like, what the?
And they try to get out of the seat.
Oh, God. It was so disgusting.
I got taken to see Jaws in the theater when I was 3. Because they didn't want to get a babysitter. They're like, oh, you won't remember anything. You won't remember it. I remember it. It was bad. But what's that?
Was that technically PG though?
Maybe, but it was, no nudity or anything like that, but not an appropriate movie for a 3-year-old. But the first, really, I guess the best example of that would be when I saw the premiere of this movie. Like I was 12, and I was like, oh, okay. My extended families with me at the thing. My mom's sitting next to me. I'm just like, this is a little weird.
I have 2 stories. I just remember. I went to see The Exorcist.
That was a date. Question with The Exorcist for me.
And I went with a date, and she's not scared at all. And I'm like sitting there going, and then I took a high school date to Love Story. That I'm crying. And I'm looking over at this girl. She's like, and I thought, oh my God, she's gonna think I'm a real pussy. You know what I mean? And she's sitting there like, yeah, what are we watching? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm trying not to cry because I'm not gonna start really going. And she's like looking over at me like, what the hell? Get some balls, son. But it's so beautiful. I don't know what Mandy man.
Yeah. But she had a penis, so yeah.
Kind of Chinese face.
Good sound effects.
Got that from Tim, actually. Tim does that all the time.
You don't know he has talent.
Is that Exorcist for you?
Yeah, Exorcist for me because back then I was a devout Christian when The Exorcist came out. So if you're a devout Christian, The Exorcist will freak you out. You cannot go to sleep. You can't pray long enough. so that really freaked me out. But there was I had 6 brothers, so and I didn't come from a really well family, a really well-off family. In fact, I could see what I was wearing next year. So yeah, that's what it was. We didn't go out a lot. We had, but back then, now you're trying to date. Back then, movies were like $3, and that was when you walked into one and really went to the other.
Yeah.
Usually the one where they would have carded you for otherwise, right?
Yeah, we'd sneak in there. Yeah. Drive-ins, you'll put guys in trouble.
So you all have really good chemistry. You mentioned that. You mentioned how part of what helped that was that sort of few weeks of bonding beforehand. For you, what was the moment when any of you where you were like, it clicked for you? You're like, yeah, I can really hang out and have fun with these folks.
Never clicked for me. I hate them all.
A lot of us party.
No, it's true. No, it's true. I think I got close to these guys because of number 2. Number 1, I hardly worked with them.
Yeah, actually, we kind of were separate on the first one. And I think Jeff did that on purpose. He didn't want us to get to know each other. He wanted us to be against each other.
Yeah, but then the second one is when I got to know all these guys, and we became really good friends because I was on the island with them, and I was eating with them, and they threw me off the boat. I mean, that's how I got to know you guys. We worked all the time together, but the first one I hardly worked with you guys. I didn't know you. You know what I mean? I knew Ted McGinley and Matt.
So I have a question.
Huh?
So I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on, we're talking to my others can.
When this is for Ogre. So when you guys were, I'm sorry, your name is Dawn. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I get offended. I get other people that say it, but then after that, I'm good.
When you were working with the job cast and everything like that, so none of you guys even got to really be friends with like the job cast or whatever, or were you always like separated from? I understand.
No, there wasn't a strict thing, but I think
it just kind of played out that way.
Yeah.
Like Andrew
And what happens is when you shoot, you're all shooting together. So the days that they shoot, especially in the first one, we were together. So when we're shooting, we don't see them, other than when we were.
But there was a lot of partying going on behind the scenes. I mean, some of us were partying with John Goodman, who was considered a jock guy, even though he played the coach. But he was a lot of fun. John Goodman was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing I kind of just want to mention that's worth mentioning is Tim Busfield literally came up with a different idea every 30 seconds. So he'd be like, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try that. But what it did was it allowed us to experiment and try stuff. And if you're in, once again, that environment, now maybe, and I'm not gonna lie, maybe 4 out of those 5 ideas were bad, but the 5th one was really good. And it was worth it. And so once you're in that environment, and in between takes, we got to the point where, I don't know exactly what had happened, but I think there comes a point where you trust each other, and then we're just trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Because we know each other's character. We're trying to come up with stuff. And it's like when you get to know somebody, you know how to make them laugh, you know, and so because they left us alone, we got into that environment where we could just create for each other, and I think it worked.
Well, I think we got time for one more question.
Thank God. Oh, sorry.
Hi, Andrew. Since you were 11 when it was filmed, whether, you know, some of the jokes are quite raunchy. Were there any rules about scenes you were in, or were your parents?
Oh yeah, tons. Yeah, tons. It was like when we were gonna shoot when we were in the living room watching the thing. I wanted to make sure that the TV didn't have anything on it. What I can see, what I can't see. There was a assistant director who was always trying to put me in school just to get me so I wouldn't see anything. And I was excessively in school all the time. These guys would like break me out sometimes and hide me. Yeah, where's Andrew? We haven't seen him.
I remember talking to mom and dad. I go, what the hell is it? What are they doing? You know, I didn't know. They go, well, it's in school. So and I went, oh, really? You know? I was like, where is it? It's in high school. This is school.
Yeah, a lot of, actually you get a much better education. I get a one-on-one tutoring. It was really like, when I got back to regular school, I was way ahead, yeah. But
I should do a smart guy. This my kid.
I'm really smart. But yeah, there was definitely, what is he going to see? What are we going to allow him to see? But I saw some stuff.
That's all we're allowed to say.
I know that we're. Oh, yeah.
Oh, guess.
Bobby and Julia. Yeah. Hello.
Hi, say hi.
Yeah.
I don't know if they videotape that or yeah. They're not live, are they?
I don't know.
Are you there?
Are you live?
No.
Yes.
Oh, they're saying that their flight was canceled, and they're talking about. Oh, it was terrible.
Are they not coming today?
No.
I think this is on Facebook.
Oh, that's their Facebook. Oh, they're saying it could be. Oh.
They wanted
Yeah, I was
to make it
disappointed when
good.
they found out.
I know that they're kicking us out, but if you guys have any other questions and stuff, come on over to our tables. We'd be happy to talk to you, and you know, and
kick us out.
Yeah, we love talking to all of you guys because you guys are so much fun. Yes, sir.
What about the liquid heat in the jock strap?
Oh yes, it looks like salad. Oh, like salad. Not scripted either. All that stuff, we have the latitude to just do stuff. Oh!
That's a great ad there, yeah.
Oh my God.
That always gets laughed.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. Yeah, you were. Yeah, so it was, the liquid heat. It was, yes, he was the last one to feel it. But
And once again, that was not in the script, was it?
Not in the script, yeah.
So you'll be with us all weekend?
Yes, we're here today and tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. So if you have any questions, come by, see us.
Come see us.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. And before we go, let me hear it. Nerds, 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 nerds.
We're all nerds.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.